Hi, everyone. I am Demi. I am the digital and social media editor for Indie 1023, and I am here with Joshua, aka Cautious Clay. Hmm.
Hello. Hello there.
How are you doing today? How's your day going?
It's going well. It's going well. I was out earlier today, went for a walk.
Was it
Uh
nice?
yeah, it's a beautiful day in Brooklyn. I've been enjoying the sun and um watered some my plants, made some breakfast tacos. So, can't
You were
complain.
having the most perfect day. That is
Yeah.
literally my ideal morning day.
Those breakfast tacos set me on the right path, and then from there it was just like nothing
A homemade
can ruin
breakfast
that.
taco,
Yeah. Oh,
perfect. They
the
hit the
best.
spot every
Mhm.
time. It's like comforting, but it's also like a little handheld thing. You're
Yep.
full, but you're not too full.
Exactly. Exactly. It's the perfect balance. I encourage everyone listening to eat breakfast tacos. So,
Every day, if you
yeah,
can.
if you can.
I'm sure that's probably like a health thing.
Yeah,
Don't
I mean,
quote
you could
me.
just put sprouts in it. You could make it a
Yeah,
veggie breakfast thing. I
some
actually had sprouts in my
radishes.
taco. Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
I
yes.
feel
This
like
is a great
it's all
start to the
good.
day.
Yeah.
I hate asking how are you right now because it's weird. Every time everyone's gonna be like, fine.
Yeah. I feel like there's at this point everyone just has like a 7. If you were thinking about it on the pH scale, it would just like it'd be like a 7 of like anxiety levels, just like there's always a little bit of something going on. Even if you're having a good day, it still
Exactly. It's
feels a
acidic.
little.
Today's acidic.
Exactly. It's an acidic day. Yeah.
An alkaline day. Imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, we
Oh
should
yeah.
move to that. That is so smart.
Yeah, we should just measure our anxiety on
On
a
pH
level of
levels.
pH level. Yeah.
I'm feeling
There
very
you go.
lemony today.
Mm-hmm.
What was that, a 6? No, that's higher on the acidic. So
Yeah.
like an 8. Look at
Something
you
like
making
that.
me do chemistry in my mind.
It's not my fault. My girlfriend's in med school, so this is what I operate on nowadays. It's
She sits
crazy.
next to you with her books, like, and you're just like, yes, I'm absorbing this
I'm
now.
absorbing it. It's through osmosis. So
You're a strong person for
there
supporting
you
her
go.
through that because med school is no joke.
For
No
real.
joke.
It's definitely not a joke.
Well, let's talk about you. I'm going to kind of go backwards because we didn't chat with you last year and you had a crazy 2020 as of like putting out projects and things like that. And so,
Hmm.
one, I want to start out with your Insecure. I know it's probably not a lot of people talk about that one, but you
Yeah,
had a single on their official soundtrack for
I did.
2020,
I did a second time.
a
So
second time.
yeah,
Funny
shout out Mr.
story.
Ray.
That's the first time I ever heard you was on Insecure.
Wow. Okay. Was it that song or was it Cold War?
No, it was Cold War.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
It was literally the perfect song for the scene. And then same with the new song that came out in 2020. It's just, do you have do you ever think about your music in terms of shows that you're watching or movies or anything like that? And you're like, this would be a good fit here. Do you ever think about that?
Honestly, no. I never think that way when I make music. That's the funny part because I feel like I have a really high, like my music gets licensed all of the time, and it's just so surprising because I never make music that way, but I do think about references when I make music. Like I feel like I go into a song and I'll be like, "Oh man, wouldn't it be cool if like I made a song like this?" And
Yeah.
it won't be like general like a rock song or hip hop. It'll be something like, "Oh, like if I made a Rassan Rollin Kirk song you know, with like Sarah Vaughan's like one line she did in that one song at 7 minutes, like
Yes.
I'll be like, that's kind of where I'm at with it. So
See, I think that that's why your songs just are so versatile for shows and for movies and things like that because you're a multi-instrumentalist. And so your sound isn't just pinned down to one genre. You can really float to anything that you want to. And I just feel like you don't have to really write songs based off of the films and things that they're going to be used in because yeah, they can really I feel like your music can really be placed anywhere. So yeah.
yeah, no, it's certainly feels like that in a lot of ways, and it's cool to see how people end up um kind of, yeah, like almost looking at it, because it's not how I always would anticipate it. People
Right.
really have a different way or perspective that they draw from what they've, like I never thought of Cold War being like a really like sensual kind of song,
Yes.
but it feels that way, in the way it's applied, so it's
Right.
cool.
And now
I'm
look.
open to it. I love it. I'm fine with that. I'm totally open to whatever people, how, if they interpret it that way. So
Yeah, exactly. Because now I've seen Cold War on like 1,000 different like romantic, lovey dovey like Spotify playlists. And
all
I
of
totally
those,
didn't think of the song in that way. And then once I saw that scene, I was like, yep.
yep. It's either somebody who's like doing yoga or they're making out. It's like,
Yeah.
that's what it is.
What are
So
the odds?
yeah.
So yeah, that
Nice.
project was huge. But then you also had a collaboration later in the year that indie could not stop playing. I was obsessed with it. And it was
Yeah.
Cheesin. You
Yeah.
had a million up and coming indie artists. It was like Remi Wolf, Sophie Myers,
Yeah.
Myers,
Sophie Myers. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
still
Still
Woozy,
Woozy.
Claud. How did that come together?
It was so crazy, honestly. I mean, that song I've honestly has had a few different iterations. And I didn't necessarily plan it to sort of be what it was. It was sort of just this thing where we were like, I realized that COVID had just happened, and I was kind of like, like how can we just like, yeah, how can we really amplify this in a way that feels like it's helping people? Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I was obviously in a fortunate enough position to do that. So I asked all of those artists friends individually to like be a part of the song, and it really ended up being something special. I feel like because I feel like the song ended up really good, and I feel like in those cases, a lot of times you have people get on a song and it feels kind of like, oh, like feels like, okay, all these people are on this song, but it doesn't, like no one's parts are like as defined. And it was cool. Like
Yes.
Melanie Faye had the guitar line, like I feel like Remi Wolf came in super hot with like this really good verse, like to start
Yes.
off, and like everybody just kind of had their spot in this really nice way, and then I was on the hook. So yeah,
Yes.
it just, I don't know, it was cool because it definitely did become a way bigger song than I think anyone anticipated. So
Yeah, that's the thing with why I love that song and why probably everybody else loved that song so much is because you could feel the distinct personalities within that song, but it didn't feel like a disjointed collaboration. It didn't feel like, oh, I just wanted to feature these people
like
and
phone it
here's their
in.
verse.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
oddly felt like you were all in the house at the same time and we're like, all right, jump in there. We're hyping you up. That's how it
Yeah.
felt.
Yeah. No, it was cool. It was a cool moment. Yeah, and I'm happy to see all of them thriving, continuing to thrive. Like Melanie's doing her thing, obviously Remy's doing her thing, and yeah,
Yes.
it's cool.
Yeah, now you all are like these peak indie artists now that are just so popular and just releasing just crazy tracks and projects in these past couple of months. And you called it. That's basically it.
Hey, no, I don't know. I just I see talent, and I gravitate towards it. So
You
I think that,
know, it's like a
you know,
magnet.
yeah, no, it was cool. It was cool to have them involved, and partially why I think I've sort of also gravitated towards like, yeah, like creative direction and production, and for other artists, and then also for TV shows, and in addition to what I do. So it's cool for me. It's like another sort of muscle for me, I feel like.
Do you feel like that was something that you could easily tap into last year when there was so much going on, despite the year being like kind of sad, but also chaotic? Do you think being able to have this mindset of working on all these different projects and having your hands in a couple of different things helped you personally?
Yeah, I think it did. I don't feel like I thrive very well on, um like I would much rather be doing things that I like to do that are like practical for like what I'm interested in. Like that's, that's creative. I like to be creative. So
Yes.
if I can like be paid to be creative, then yeah, I'm going to keep doing that. So I think for me, being involved in a lot isn't necessarily like I feel like better when I'm doing more than, and it's not because like I think it has to be some sort of like productivity race. Like
Yeah.
I think there's also a great amount of time when you can just sort of like have time to just have an open mind and not be working. But I think for me, I find a lot of comfort in just doing, multiple things and getting things done. And um, yeah,
I
and
asked
obviously since we
because
weren't touring, it was a great,
that too, because people
yeah,
aren't touring right now.
yeah,
And also, yeah, just talking to artists from last year, last year was a mix and a struggle for a lot of people of like, I want to be productive, but depression and some of these other things are just
yeah,
major factors that are keeping me from doing that. And then
absolutely,
others were like, I had to work or else I just felt like I was going to fall into this like sad pit,
yeah. That's definitely. I mean, I can definitely empathize with that. I think like when I wasn't doing something, I was just kind of like, what am I doing with my life? So
Right.
it's constant. And I think for me, I think music has always been that helpful
I feel
way
that.
out. You know, it doesn't like I like to be funny on social media. I like to like have fun, but I think for me, it doesn't. It feels like it has an end. You know,
Yes.
I'll burn out, and I'm just like, okay, I can't do this shit anymore. It's too
I need a
exhausting.
break.
I need a break. So I think music is always like the music is more than a break for me. Obviously, it's like my life. But I think
Yeah,
like if I just want to zone out, that's also a good thing. So
exactly. Exactly. Well, I want to talk about your project that's coming out in June 25th.
Mhm.
Album, Deadpan Love. How
Yep.
exciting. You stoked for it?
Yeah. No, I am. Sorry, I shouldn't have just eaten this almond.
Oh my God. No, you should snack. If it was up to me, I would be eating a full meal right now. Just asking questions,
Now,
eating a
wait, let me just bite some of this fried chicken real fast. Like, just like on the microphone, this high fidelity microphone. You
we
know.
can do an ASMR right now. I can just like shut off shut off my mic and then
Ears
you just go
tingling.
up to it and just
Just yeah, exactly.
honestly, you're giving the people the content that they
Oh
deserve.
man, yeah. Speaking of that, that was a whole thing with Elsa. You know Elsa Majimbo?
Yes.
I made a beat for her with her where she was like basically chewing on random chips and stuff, and like we really like put it out. It was so funny. It was just like there's another random thing that happened on quarantine, like
Because why not?
because why not?
Yeah.
You
It's
know.
just that's how music should be in general. It should just be why not put this thing out for fun? Not
Mm-hmm.
everything has to be, I need to be a chart topper, make this
Yeah,
much money.
exactly,
It's just because
exactly.
you're doing it because you love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
But feel free to eat more snacks. I am not opposed for you ASMR watchers.
yeah, no, I'm excited though. I think yeah, this album is I've definitely spent several years on it, I guess now. To even It's
Wow.
weird to even say that, but there's a
Like
lot of
pre-quarantine, and did you do anything during quarantine?
yeah, I would say about like 50% to 40%. No, 50 to 60% I did in quarantine, and then the other 40% is songs that I've had for years.
Wow.
Um, so it's sort of a little bit of a holdover. Like even Karma and Friends was a song that I wrote probably 3 years ago, um,
Wow. So this
in
is a long
2018.
time coming for this project.
Definitely. I mean, a lot of people
Insane.
thought I had albums out, and I just never did. I was just like putting out these, little projects here and there. But
Mhm.
this feels like, yeah, this is my first real album. I think, like 14 tracks, and
Yeah.
everything feels really like I felt like I wanted to make it feel like it had an arc, but it also,
Mm.
took people places. And yeah,
I want to
no, I
talk
spent
about
I spent
that
a lot of
too.
time on it.
Sorry, I keep interrupting you.
No, that's okay. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot I could talk about, but I think like in general, it definitely is this album about relationships and about
Mm.
like sometimes being misguided in those efforts, but also sometimes like being um like having a level of like self-affirmation in the process as well. So
Mm,
it's I'm sort of just trying to unpack all of the complexities that everybody goes through in their lives, and I think the most important thing that we all have in our lives are relationships, because they are, yeah, that's all we have. We're all social beings at the end of the day, and if we're going to ever be our best selves, we have to surround ourselves with good people, or at least people who challenge us in ways that are good,
yeah.
or not challenge, not even challenge, just support. But I think yeah, I took that approach throughout the album with every song, and then the title was really inspired by just my overall, like, my identity in through that process. And my first EP, Blood Type, was in a lot of ways like, I could the alternative name could have been Identity, because
Yeah.
blood type is like your physical identity, you know, if you're
Hmm.
type A or type O negative or whatever.
Yeah.
um and So Deadpan Love was sort of that for me, but in a more mental space of just sort of
Mm,
deadpan, sort of being this kind of like wittiness in my lyrics, or like my cynicism that is like surrounding my overall feelings of empathy and love, which is the love side of it. So it's like two sides of the same coin. Is like Deadpan Love. It's sort of just like wit and sort of like sarcasm to protect
yeah.
my inner layer of compassion and empathy. Um, so that's kind of like Deadpan Love. That's the title.
I think that's so relatable for so many people. And before I actually took a look at your track list for the album coming out, alongside the artwork, which you used on your EP for Karma and Friends.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's just a picture of you with tears coming down your face. And in my mind, I was like, is this album going to rip my heart out? Because I'm ready for it. But at the
Yeah.
same time, it feels like, after everything that you just said, it feels like a release as well. Like, not
Yeah.
just a physical release, but like an emotional kind of spiritual release as well. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it because it just feels like it's so relatable, and that's something that we all need right now. And I know personally, I like during quarantine have really evaluated my interpersonal relationships and things like that. And so I think that this could really help people move through that and, evaluate the relationships in their lives and realize that they're lessons. All of them are lessons.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I wanted to take that approach without feeling like it's tough being in this time period, and sort of like, I feel like I just want people to like care again, you know? Like I get that like
Yes.
everything sucks. Like I get it. Trust me. I'm obviously not like the most um like, I'm not naive, you know what I mean? Like, I'm very aware of all the problems that I think we face, and the issues and the stupid people that exist, and the people
Hmm.
who can't take a um yeah, can't take a criticism, or can't have a dialogue, or everything that plagues this world that we live in. But I think I also wanted to just look at it from like, yeah, like I'm stronger than any of those people. Like I don't need any of those people. Like I want to offer people like a way of just sort of being like, look, like, you know, like for me it's just sort of like, you could either kill yourself or you could live on, because we have like, there's so many people who are suffering, and they continue to suffer, but they live on, and they try to get past it. And I think we need to be able to help those people, but we also need to be able to live our lives, and we need to enjoy our lives. And I wanted to sort of be like, obviously as a person of color, like I wanted to be able to offer like the complexities of that feeling of joy, but then also of like frustration, and try to have that sort of feel a little bit more multifaceted, um
Mm.
you know. but yeah, I think it's always going to be a challenge to sort of like have those discussions, because I think we live in an era of just sort of absolutes, and that sort of is always what rises to people's yeah, it's the headlines, you know. So that's
Yeah.
uh that's just the world we're in. But I also I want to be able to just, yeah, show a little bit of nuance when I can, if I can.
Yes. It's like be introspective, but also be able to live your life.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, I have just one more question and then we're going to wrap up so that you can take a break. One, because you've done back to back to back interviews today, and I know how that feels.
Yeah.
But yeah, are there any singles on the album that you are just really excited for people to hear, and why? One, when I looked at the track list, I saw that there's there's a song that's "Why Is Your Clay So Cautious?"
Yes. Yes. It's more of a skit.
Oh, it's a skit. Okay, so we're gonna get a little bit of dialogue in there.
It's a little bit of a skit. It's just a little, like a little lighthearted skit. But I used to have people ask me that all the time, basically. Like I would get that kind of message
People are
sometimes.
just
And they'd
at
be like,
shows.
"Oh, you think you're funny?" Like, yeah, I don't know. So I was kind of like, this is hilarious, you know, like I'll just embrace this a little bit, because it was such a classic
I love that.
thing. But
I just want
yeah,
somebody to walk up to you at a show and be like, "Why is your clay so cautious?"
why? No one has an answer. No one has an answer. Um,
Honestly, up for
but
interpretation.
it's open to interpretation. Exactly. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really excited for my next few singles because, well, the next one actually is a more of a ballad actually. Um,
Mm,
it's really just myself and a guitar,
hmm
um, and I'm excited for that song. I think that'll be really special. Um, I think it's sort of like something that'll be really, I think, important for the album. But also, I did a song with Saba,
hmm
the rapper Saba, who
Yeah.
is one of my favorites. He's so good. Um, and
This is
that's
one of the
actually
few collaborations, or the only, this
the
is the
only
only
one,
feature.
only
Yeah.
feature on the album. Yeah. So and it wasn't on purpose. Like I did a bunch of songs with other artists, but I also just felt like I wanted this album to be a certain type of way. And like
hmm
Saba's not even like he's featured on it, but it's not like he's like, it doesn't say featuring Saba, you know? So
Right.
I wanted it to sort of feel cohesive and just like my thing, you know, as
Yes.
opposed to like making it this whole like feature artist thing. And I just, yeah, I wanted to do that. I really didn't want to feel like I had to feature
Right.
some big
Especially as a
artist just to
first
like,
collaboration. Like
yeah,
first
yeah. I mean, this
collaboration,
is
your first compilation, full LP.
my first full album. I just didn't want to feel like I had to have a feature on it. Like I
Right.
didn't want that. You know, and yeah, obviously I know a lot of big artists. I could have probably asked to be a part of it, but I that was sort of a real thing that I was just sort of firm on, and I did involve a lot of other creatives in this process, but like I sort of executive produced it and like kind of brought it to where it is now.
hmm
And that to me I think was the experiment, because most of my other songs that I've ever released were all solely produced by myself.
hmm
And so I wanted to be able to like add some other producers and writers in the process, open that up, and really just sort of, yeah, I wanted to just like make that what I could, and like see like the best version of myself, because I think that, you know, if I was able to just like know the people I wanted to work with and then like utilize them best for
Right.
what I wanted to see through in this vision. So yeah, but the one feature is Saba, on a song called Strange Love, and I think that's a really one of my favorites, on the album. And then yeah, and then
The
you know,
rest, we will
the rest
find
is
out.
we'll find out exactly. You'll
They
just
should call
have to
you conscious Clay, because you thought
Oh my
about all
God.
of it.
You know what? There's just a really funny story behind Conscious Clay because there was an artist named Conscious Clay
Oh my God, no
who
way.
yeah, and he actually he like hated my guts because, and I just don't know, like he was also from Maryland and I lived in DC, and then he
Too
named himself
close.
Conscious Clay, and then like there was this whole thing and he was like, oh, like he like got mad at my designer because he was telling him like my designer ripped off his ideas, and it was this whole issue. This was maybe 2 years ago, but yeah,
Y'all should just
Conscious
meet
Clay.
up and just cautious Clay, conscious Clay collab.
Man, I don't know. I think there's too much history, too much beef. So
There's too much beef.
exactly,
Oh my God, a beef between the Clays.
it's a
Who could
problem.
who could
What could it
imagine?
go down? Too
Well,
many
I
things.
really appreciate you talking with me today and for taking the time to hang out with Indy for the past hour.
Yeah,
Because if you guys haven't, once you watch this, it'll be old by this time, by this, whatever. Go watch it anyways on IG Live. We did, we read your tarot, Alicia did.
yeah, that was something I'd never done before. I was kind of
Wow.
like, huh, I don't really know much about tarot, so you know, it was
You
cool.
know, it's taken the internet by storm, and we said, why not?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Do you feel like you got some lessons out of that?
Yeah, to be honest, it was interesting because I felt like the last one was super general. So I
Yeah.
wasn't really like, I was kind of like, I don't know what to take away from this.
You
But the
know,
first two, I was kind of like, all right, cool. Little life lessons, little fortune.
I love the sun card. I think that that's probably like one of my favorite cards of all time. It's so
Yeah,
pretty and
yeah,
it's just so positive. You know?
definitely. It
It's a very
definitely,
good
I could
feel
definitely
good
relate
card.
to it. So
Well, I hope that any tarot reading you get after this is just fulfilling and not as scary as getting your first one read on IG Live.
yeah, yeah, for real. That was like, I feel like I was kind of holding back because I was like, I don't know about this, but like also it was great.
He
So
pulls the
definitely.
death card.
Exactly. What the fuck? Like that's ooh, scary. Scary.
Honestly, I'm kind of hoping for that to happen the next time that she does this.
And then the person's just like, well, all right.
You know,
Buy my album.
this
Check
is
my
the
album. Yeah, this is the
end.
end. After this, it's gonna go platinum because I'm gonna die.
By my album.
Buy my album posthumously. Like,
I love
okay.
that. Oh
Oof.
my God. Well, everyone, go and check out Deadpan Love when it gets released on June 25th. June 25th. I'm right. I'm right. I'm sure.
Yeah, that's it.
And you can check out Karma and Friends, the EP right now. It is on rotation on indie, so you can hear singles from that. I think we're playing Roots and Karma and Friends, two of my favorite songs from that. And then, yeah, go and check out our IG so that you can watch Joshua do his first ever tarot reading with Alicia. And yeah, what else do I got? Do you got anything else that you want to say?
Oh, I think you hit everything. Yeah.
Oh,
Glad to
ticking
have had
boxes.
that done.
Well, thank you again. I really appreciate your time. And thank you to everybody who's been watching. And yeah, for more sessions at home, tune in to ND1023 and check out nd1023.org. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.